Most men miss the subtle signs when women are interested in taking things to the next level. What about you? Have you ever wondered if you might be letting opportunities slip by simply because you didn't know what to look for? It happens more often than you think. Imagine this: you're having a great conversation, she leans in, asks a seemingly innocent question, and you shrug it off as small talk. What if that one question was her way of saying, "I'm interested"? Would you even notice? If not, you're not alone. Most guys miss these clues entirely. In this video, we're diving deep into the psychology of attraction and decoding the 6 questions women ask when they're ready to take things further. By the end of this video, you'll not only recognize these subtle hints, but you'll also learn how to respond in a way that strengthens your connection. And here's the kicker. Once you know these, you'll never look at casual conversations the same way again. So grab a seat, stay tuned, and take notes, because what you're about to learn could change the way you navigate relationships forever. Picture this: you're sitting across from her at your favorite coffee shop. The ambience is just right, the conversation is flowing, and you can't help but notice the way she's leaning in, her smile lingering just a bit longer. Then, out of nowhere, she asks, "So, what's the most adventurous thing you've ever done?" You pause, unsure if it's just an innocent question or if it's loaded with meaning. Is she just curious, or is she trying to see if there's something more to you? You laugh it off, answer casually, and the moment passes. But what if that question was her way of testing the waters? Would you have caught it? Here's the thing: conversations like these happen all the time. In today's fast-paced dating world, subtle cues often replace outright statements. Women, whether consciously or not, use specific questions to gauge your interest, assess compatibility, and yes, even hint at their own feelings. Recognizing these moments isn't just about getting to the next level. It's about understanding the art of connection. When you know how to interpret these cues, you can respond in a way that builds trust, deepens attraction, and creates a genuine connection that goes beyond surface-level small talk. This isn't just speculation, science backs it up. Studies on human communication reveal that 93% of meaning is conveyed through nonverbal and indirect cues. Women often use questions to feel out your mindset and gauge your potential as a partner without making themselves vulnerable. As someone who's studied attraction dynamics and communication patterns for years, I've seen countless examples of how these subtle exchanges can make or break a relationship. Understanding the psychology behind these questions gives you an edge, not to manipulate, but to foster authentic, meaningful relationships. So, how do you recognize these key questions? And more importantly, how do you respond in a way that keeps the spark alive? Let's dive into the 6 questions you need to know and what they really mean. Question 1. What do you think about casual relationships? This question is her way of gauging where you stand on the spectrum of commitment versus openness. It's not just about your opinion, it's about how you present yourself. Historically, people have used indirect methods to measure compatibility. Psychologically, this question gives her insight into whether your values align. It's also a low-stakes way for her to see if you'll judge her for even broaching the topic. Imagine this: Jake was out on a second date with Mia. Over drinks, Mia casually asked, "So, how do you feel about casual relationships?" Jake panicked and blurted out, "Oh, I don't believe in them." The rest of the night felt strained, because Mia wasn't necessarily asking for a definitive stance. She was feeling out his openness to new ideas. Contrast that with Mark, who responded with a laugh and said, "I think it depends on the person. What about you?" That opened the door for a deeper conversation about intentions without making things awkward. Be honest and clear, but stay lighthearted. Respond with curiosity instead of locking yourself into a rigid stance. For instance, you could say, "It really depends on the connection. What about you?" This keeps the conversation flowing and creates an opportunity for deeper understanding. Question 2. How do you usually spend your weekends? This question is her way of evaluating how compatible your day-to-day life might be with hers. People often bond over shared routines and hobbies, so she's subtly trying to picture how you fit into her world. Psychologically, this question tells her if you're spontaneous or structured, laid back or high energy, all clues to whether your lifestyles align. Here's a story. Sarah once asked her date, Tom, the same question. Tom replied, "I like to party all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No exceptions." For Sarah, who preferred quiet weekends with the occasional brunch, it was a red flag. Contrast that with another guy, Alex, who responded, "I like to keep it balanced. Some weekends I'm out exploring. Other weekends I enjoy staying in and recharging." That answer sparked Sarah's interest as it showed flexibility and balance. Focus on authenticity. Talk about what you genuinely enjoy without embellishing. If you're into hiking, mention it. If you love binge watching shows, own it. The goal is to connect, not impress. For example, you might say, "I love exploring new places, but I also enjoy a low-key Sunday with good coffee and a book." This makes you relatable and real. Question 3. What's the most attractive quality in a partner? She's fishing for insight into what you value, and by extension, how you might see her. This question also reveals whether you look beyond surface-level traits. Psychologically, it's a moment of vulnerability. She's testing whether you can articulate meaningful values without reducing her to a stereotype. One time, Nick responded to this question with, "Looks, I guess." His date, Emily, instantly felt the connection drop. Now take Steve's response. "I think kindness is really attractive, and someone who can laugh at themselves." Emily smiled and asked, "Do you think I'm kind?" Steve's thoughtful answer opened the door for mutual compliments and a deeper connection. Use this question as an opportunity to subtly compliment her. For instance, you could say, "I really admire confidence, and honestly, you have that vibe." Keep it genuine and don't overdo it. This shows you're paying attention without coming across as insincere. Question 4. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This question isn't just about career aspirations, it's about long-term compatibility. She's checking if your goals and values align with hers, whether consciously or subconsciously. Psychologically, this question helps her picture whether you're someone who plans for the future or just lives in the moment. Dan was asked this question by Rachel. His answer? "I don't really plan ahead. I just go with the flow." For Rachel, who valued ambition, this was a red flag. On the other hand, Chris said, "I see myself building a career I'm passionate about and hopefully traveling more. What about you?" Rachel loved his balanced response. It showed drive and curiosity. Stay aspirational but grounded. Share your ambitions without overwhelming her with details. For example, you could say, "I hope to be growing in my career and spending more time doing things I love, like traveling. What about you?" This keeps the conversation engaging and aligned. Question 5. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? This question is her way of gauging your adventurous side. She's testing whether you're fun, spontaneous, and willing to take risks. Jake answered this question with, "I don't think I've ever done anything crazy." His date felt the energy drop instantly. Contrast that with someone like Ryan, who shared, "I once booked a last-minute flight to Paris just to try a famous croissant. It was totally worth it." That sparked curiosity and laughter, making the date memorable. Balance humor with authenticity. Share a story that's fun but not over the top. For instance, I once tried karaoke sober. It was a disaster, but now I can laugh about it. This shows you don't take yourself too seriously. Question 6. Have you ever felt an instant connection with someone? This is one of the most direct questions. She's hinting at her feelings and testing whether you feel the same. Mike once heard this question and replied, "Not really. I think connections take time." His date seemed disappointed because she was hoping for validation. Compare that to Paul, who responded, "I think I'm feeling one right now. What about you?" That honesty deepened the connection immediately. Respond warmly and honestly. If you feel a connection, let her know, but keep it respectful. For example, I have, and I think moments like this make me wonder if it's happening again. This strikes a balance between confident and thoughtful. These stories highlight a key principle. Emotional intelligence is the bridge between casual interaction and genuine connection. It's not about memorizing answers, it's about tuning in to what's really being asked. By paying attention to subtle cues and responding thoughtfully, you show that you're not just hearing her words, you're understanding her feelings. This level of awareness fosters trust and can turn a simple conversation into something meaningful. Take a second right now. What's the most revealing question you've ever been asked on a date? How did it make you feel? And how did you respond? Which of these questions surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences. What's a question you've heard that caught you off guard but made you realize something deeper was going on? Let's quickly recap the 6 questions women ask when they're interested in something deeper. 1. What do you think about casual relationships? 2. How do you usually spend your weekends? 3. What's the most attractive quality in a partner? 4. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? 5. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? 6. Have you ever felt an instant connection with someone? Each of these questions carries a hidden layer of meaning. Recognizing them and responding thoughtfully is your key to building stronger connections. Next time you're in a conversation and hear one of these questions, pause and think about what she might be really asking. Take the opportunity to share something meaningful. It could be the start of something amazing. If this video gave you new insights into relationships, don't forget to give it a like. And for more in-depth tips on dating, connection, and communication, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next.